Hi there, it's Pete from Hermitage Road. Welcome back to my Webb's Heath layout. I thought it would be a better background to show some of the locomotives on. This is HS 4000, which was named Kestrel and was built at Brushworks by Hawker Siddeley. It was designed as a high-powered 125 mile an hour locomotive, but it didn't prove too successful for passenger work. So in the end, they fitted it with a set of Class 47 bogies and reduced it to freight work. It was eventually sold in the 1970s to Russia, and it was used for various things and eventually broken up in the early 80s. It was a very stylish looking locomotive, I think, and a really striking colour scheme. Pity it was the only one. In some ways it was superseded the Intercity 125s. We'll just move it off the layout. This is a Helljam model, by the way, and it's certainly a very interesting livery. Second loco is Falcon. Now Falcon was built in some ways to compare with the Westons. It fitted the same Maybach engines, but driving a generator and traction motor, so it was actually diesel electric. It did many years on the eastern region, mainly testing in a very strange green and dark green and light green livery. Now this is the Helljam model, which is basically running on the Class 47 chassis. It's a nice locomotive, and I remember it from Bristol Temple Meads. It was down on Bath Road for years before being moved to Newport for freight. But during its time at Bath Road, it did run passenger service, and by all accounts was actually quite a successful locomotive. I've got it in the later blue livery, which it carried till the end of its life. Unfortunately, it was never preserved, even though people wanted to preserve it, but British Rail had a deal with the supplier to just cut it up if it was withdrawn. The next locomotive is one of the original type of warships. Now, these were much heavier than the later ones. This was a really monster locomotive for weight. I think it was about 130 tons. This was produced by Curnow on a special. It was the only one that was actually ever painted in blue towards the end of its life in 1967. It also had a little bit of fame for going down to Barry Scrapyard with one of its sisters, and it sat there for many years till the 80s when they finally cut it up. Unfortunately, nobody wanted to preserve it. I don't think it was a particularly successful locomotive. I think the weight gave a lot of problems with it, but it was quite useful for freight in some ways. The remaining loco I'm going to show you is another Curnow special, and this is the bullied 2000 horsepower One Coco One that was built in 1954. It was eventually transferred to the Midland region and ran double-headed with some of its other two stablemates. Now it only has cab lights on this because the real one never had any lighting. It ran on code discs, which was a standard thing for the southern region in those days. It's a very nice locomotive. It runs very well, and I quite like it. It's unusual. You don't see many of these about. So I'll just take it out of view. Right, well, I'm quite pleased to say I'm actually up to 75 subscribers now. So thank you everybody who has subscribed, commented and liked my videos. And before I go, I'd like to give a shout out to Small Rails. It's a chap from New Zealand called Bernie. He's a very nice chap, and have a look at his channel, guys. He's very good, and if you could do the same for him, like, subscribe and so on. And if you've heard some strange noises in the background, I'm filming this in my loft, and there appear to be two seagulls outside having a fight by my chimney. So sorry if there were a few strange noises, and thank you very much, and see you soon.